Well, I was at the demonstration today. Um, well, it wasn't even a demonstration. What it was literally thousands of Patriots, football lads, veterans, other Patriots, men and women, who went to the cenotaph to observe the minute silence, pay the respects, have a show of support for the veterans, and also um, a show of strength, saying that the British people are not going to be cowed by these terror supporting marches that have been parading through London, trashing London, attacking synagogues, attacking Jews, attacking poppy sellers, intimidating poppy sellers, just basically bullying the general public, and and then of course chanting for jihad, chanting for intifada, a global intifada, which is the same as a global jihad. It's all semantics. Um, so that's why everybody went to London today, and the crowd was absolutely massive. I wouldn't put a number on it because you can never guess with those things, but even just going from um, uh, the um, the station, um, sorry, I'm a bit tired, so the words are not coming as quickly as they do. Embankment Tube Station, coming from Embankment Tube Station, which was just one muster point, there were thousands of people there. I believe there was a similar number at Churchill Statue, so on and so forth. So there's a lot of lads in town today, um, impeccably behaved until until we got to within um, distance of the viewing distance, if you like, of the cenotaph. So we got down Whitehall. The police had blocked the cenotaph. We understood that, but we thought just for crowd control, not for literally kettling people in and separating people, which is exactly what they did. So they tried to stop us getting down to the cenotaph, stop us getting down to Whitehall. Eventually, we agreed to their requests, which was to basically go up onto the embankment and then come back down onto Whitehall or Parliament Square, depending on which way we wanted to go from other directions, because for some reason they didn't want us to go all walking down towards the cenotaph. Um, what then happened was the police got very aggressive. I mean, they were aggressive. They were aggressive. I mean, when you look at the difference between what they did with the pro-Hamas demonstrations and what they did with our demonstrations, the past few weeks we've seen disorder, we've seen violence, we've seen policemen being assaulted, we've seen fireworks being fired at police, we've seen all sorts of bullying and intimidation going on, we've seen anti-Semitic signs, we've seen calls for jihad, we've seen anti-British rhetoric, um, sit-ins in stations, etc., etc. A lot of really unpleasant, intimidating stuff going on from the pro-Hamas people. Our lads, all they wanted to do was get to the cenotaph en masse and stand there and pay their respects to our fallen heroes. That's all they wanted to do. And on the banner the lads held said, "Respect our fallen heroes," or "Respect our fallen whatever. Sorry, respect our war dead." That's what it said on the banner. So, so when we got to a side street into to get to the cenotaph, basically what happened was the police let, like they always do, let maybe 50 lads through, and then very aggressively blocked the way of anybody else that was trying to get through. There was no reason for that. There was no crush. There was no issue with numbers there, because everybody eventually got through. And I found myself in a position where I was standing in front of police officers, telling them to calm down, telling them to get back, because they were so aggressive. One police officer, I should have got his number. His head was like a beetroot. I don't know whether he was off his head on coke or speed. He was not behaving like a normal human being. Maybe he'd had too much Red Bull that morning. I don't know. But he was behaving like an absolute maniac. And I'm not the calmest of people when in those situations, but I was calming him down, saying, "Bro, just chill out, just relax." Because the reality is, when they're being extremely aggressive to a whole lot of very, very upset and angry football lads, it's only going to end one way. And of course, that is what they wanted. They wanted the optics of things kicking off around the cenotaph. Now, thankfully, things did not kick off in a massive way. There was a bit of pushing and shoving. There was a bit of pushing and shoving around the corner as well. But I don't think there's anybody arrested in what happened at the cenotaph. But I'm standing there with my arms out, trying to calm the situations down, when the police are launching past me and hitting people behind me with batons. Okay, and at which point all the lads behind me just rushed the lines to get through. You know, it wasn't violent. It was just like a rugby scrum. Pushed me like a battering ram into the police lines, and pushed right through. And the police were literally swept to one side, and that allowed lots of people to actually get through and get to the cenotaph. And they behaved impeccably. There was a little bit of boisterousness at one point, but there was, you know, just people having banter with each other. They were told to shut up, and they did shut up. So the 2 minute silence was impeccably listened to. There was a small rendition of Rule Britannia. There was clapping of the veterans. There was absolute maximum respect shown to every veteran that was there. Respect shown to the war dead. But the police's action, if it hadn't been for us intervening and calming things down, the police's action could have provoked something very, very serious. And this is what the public have got to understand. When the media then comes out and calls all the people that were at the protest far right, that's a lie. It's not even. I'm not even going to comment on it because it's just a lie. We had Jewish people with us. We had people who would be left leaning with us. We had people who maybe are a bit right wing with us as well. But you know, to just call everybody far right or EDL, the EDL doesn't even exist anymore. You know, maybe it should, but it doesn't. So all of these things are and it's not. This has happened from the very beginning. As long as we've been doing this, the media have lied about us. They've slandered us. You know, we're not the ones that hate the Jews. We're not the ones that are supporting a genocidal terrorist organization. We're not the ones who are supporting chants like "From the River to the Sea" and justifying them on television. Do you know who's doing that? The left. The left are gaslighting everyone, saying there's nothing to see here with these protests. They're just peace protests. No, they're not. 3 of the organisers are connected with Hamas, one Muslim Brotherhood, and I believe 2 others are either Hamas leaders or Hamas operators, according to the Daily Telegraph last week. And I reckon they've probably fact-checked their stuff. So on one side, the media is calling us far right, and on the other side, the media is telling us that these demonstrations are Hamas demonstrations. On the one side, the media are not telling everybody that that these demonstrations are organised by Hamas, and on the other side, they're saying, well, actually, maybe it's not all the people that are demonstrating are far right. So there's this gaslighting, this mixed message from the media. So the media and the police, the government. I mean, I believe Rishi Sunak was on a rant, no doubt. Sadiq Khan was on a rant. The whole lot of them. I was there on the ground. My back is banjaxed, to use a polite term, because of what happened today. Because the force that the police used when they were wrestling with, because when you get into a crowd crush, if you're at the front, it doesn't matter what you try and do. It's what's happening behind that matters. If there's people pushing you into those police lines, those police are gonna physically attack you. That's the way. That's what happens. And of course, to avoid arrest, you put your arms up and you're not swinging out at the police. And the police line was broken. And when it was broken, the lads got through and filled up the space near the cenotaph. So the police have massive questions to answer. Again, there is 2-tier policing, because again, we saw the way that the Hamas demonstration was policed. No riot helmets, no batons. You know, so that they must just think the English, they're just stupid. They're just a soft touch. But these Hamas guys, they might actually kill us. They might actually start planting bombs. So we don't really want to upset them too much. And that's the reality of the situation. 2-tier policing is here. Today proved it. My bad backs proved it. The police were totally out. Some of those police officers were totally out of control and were far more violent than any of the lads that were with us. And that's a fact. And I've seen the footage of some of the lads that got smashed over the head later on in the day. So yeah, that's the situation. I think the lads that I saw behaved impeccably. I mean, I left probably between 12 and 1, so I left fairly early, but while I was there, there was hardly any drink taken. The lads were behaving in an absolute faultless manner, as far as I could see, respectful and there for the right reasons, to protect the country. And do you know what? The state needs to realise there's a mass amount of anger out there, about what's going on in the country, because we know what's going on. We know that jihadists and terrorist supporters and Islamists who want a caliphate, who want us all to bow down to whatever they worship, they want us to bow down to their religion. We know that they want to destroy our society and our civilization, and we're not going to let them. And there's a lot of anger and there's a lot of bitterness towards the way the government is bending over, and the police are bending over, and Sadiq Khan's London Metropolitan Police are bending over to these people, while at the same time they're hitting us with batons, smashing people's heads in, and giving old fellas like me a bad back. Rowley should go. He's a complete moron. He shouldn't go just because of not banning the march. He should go because he doesn't know what jihad is. He doesn't know what an intifada is. He doesn't understand Islam, and he's been advised by Islamists. He needs to go. I can't believe that Clampett was actually head of counter-terror command at one point. Or maybe he's just scared of them. If he's scared of them, he needs to go as well. Anyway, rant over. Scores, 0 out of 10 for the police. Pathetic, pathetic. And what will happen is none of us will engage with you. We will do our own thing. We won't talk to you. We won't engage with you. We used to get police liaisons on our marches. We used to organise them. We used to do everything, by the book. What will happen is you just get people turning up, and you just won't know when they're going to turn up. So as far as I'm concerned, the police, complete waste of time in London at the minute, disastrous. And the football lads that turned up, and the veterans and the patriots, behaved impeccably and should give yourselves a pat on the back. See you all soon.